Hi guys, welcome back. In today's video, we are going to be covering RBZ Jewellers ka Q4FY25 results. Okay, so again, if you guys want to know the business model in depth, I've already done a video for that. You can just go to my YouTube channel, Business Analysis Playlist, and you'll find it over there. Okay. For now, if you want to understand the business model, like what exactly does RBZ do? They are a jewelry company, but when you talk about jewelry company, they're not completely into B2C like Kalyan, Gadgil, or Senco Goods. Neither are they, completely a B2B company like Sky Gold. They're a combination of both. As of now, if you look at their Q4 ka numbers, if you look at it, 50-50%. If you look at the sales comes from retail and the other 50% comes from wholesale. Now, when you talk about wholesale also, there is another like two divisions here. One is, the wholesale, just like how Sky Gold does, where you get the gold and whatever the design requirement that is required by, the jewelry companies, you do it and give it to them. The other is job work. Now, most of the times, you might not have that inventory, you might not have that capacity, right? But you have the people, to do the work. So what they do is, let's say the jewelry companies, they will come and give you the gold. All you have to do is, design it according to their requirement and give it to them. So this is called as job work. Okay. So they do both. They do retail, wholesale, as well as the other part of wholesale that is there is job work. Now, if you look at the Q4 numbers, that is if you look at Q4 of FY25 numbers, the numbers are fantastic. And even if you look for the guidance they had for the whole year, the guidance was 500 crores and the PAT guidance was around 35 crores. So if you look at the Q4 ka numbers, they are excellent. Even if you look at the guidance, if you look at the full year ka numbers, even more excellent, okay? Because FY24 versus 25, agar aap pura saal ka sales dekhte ho, the sales grew by 62%. And if you look at the PAT grew around 80%, okay? So overall, in the income statement, there is no flaw. Everything is great. Everything is hunky-dory, okay? And like I told you, the guidance was 500 crore and they did 530 crore. The PAT ka guidance was, to achieve 35 crore and they did 38 crore in terms of PAT also. So overall, a great set of numbers, you can tell. Now, why were they able to, go a little bit above the guidance over here, what was told, and why this entire Q4? Because as you know, Q4 is not that great for a jewelry companies, because Q3 agar aap dekhte ho, Q3 mein you have all these weddings and festivities and everything, right? So that is there. But Q4 also this time was very, very splendid for them, right? So one of the reason is, if you look at Akshaya Tritiya, okay, Akshaya Tritiya usually comes in the month of May, okay? Usually, roughly it comes around that time. So agar aap May mein Akshaya Tritiya hai, then you will have to, since you're a B2B company, a part of your sales comes from B2B. Kya hota hai, all of these B2C jewelry companies that are there, they will place an order, before the month of May, right, to cater to the customer, okay? So April mein hota tha, but either ways, because of this Akshaya Tritiya, Q1 mein unka bahut acha numbers hota tha. Now, if you look at it in this year, Akshaya Tritiya came in April. Agar April mein aa raha hai, to all the companies will place orders, wholesale ka orders, job work orders in the month of February, Jan, in March, right, which is your Q4 ka months. That is why Q4 and this entire year has been splendid. It has been great, okay? So as of now, FY25, no problem. अगर आप आगे का देखते हो, that is if you look at what is the plans for the business in FY26, what are they doing, what are they hoping for, is a couple of things over here. First is, as you know, the price of gold, has increased very absurdly, right? Because agar aap dekhte ho, earlier, the price, I think per gram ka, it used to be somewhere, I think in the starting of this year, this financial year, it was somewhere around 6,000 rupees per gram. And then after that, it went, somewhere, I believe 8,500. And the recent quarters, that is in the Q4 ka months, if you see, it even soared up to like 10,000 rupees per gram. Now, when you talk about gold, there are two types of buyers, right? Gold agar aap purchase karne jate ho. One is the occasion based buyers. Occasion based buyers are what, whenever there is a marriage, when Akshaya Tritiya is an occasion, you buy. And these are when you're buying for a certain occasion, you don't care. Now, let's say agar aapka beti ka shaadi hai kal, ya aapko Akshaya Tritiya is there tomorrow, and you have to buy gold during these occasions, you will agar gold ka price 8,000 ho 9,000 ho, you will end up buying either ways. The only thing is, shayad, let's say when the gold ka price rises, earlier you were if your budget is 20,000, earlier you were probably getting 2.5 grams, but now you're getting 2 grams for the same budget. But ultimately you will end up buying, you won't postpone your purchase. But on the other hand, the daily wear, some people would want to buy this daily wear jewelry. It's not an occasion based jewelry, right? So what will happen, unka ek confusion hota hai mindset mein ki like bro, should I buy it right now? Because let the gold ka price come down, let it be hopeful. I believe this is a psyche you might have witnessed even in your family, especially if you've got women in your family who are very keen on purchasing gold, right? You might have witnessed the same kind of sentiment either with yourself or with any of your family members. So kya hua hai now, in the month of March, April and all, since the gold ka price, rose very absurdly over here, this purchase mein, demand mein, although, the demand is not down, demand is still solid, ठीक है? But ये जो purchase है, especially in the daily wear segment ना, यहाँ पे क्या हो रहा है, there is a delay in terms of purchasing. People are, a little bit doubtful. You can literally see the, consumer का confusion. Now think about it, right? If you are a B2C company, आपको शायद उतना कुछ फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा, because in a B2C company, if the volume is not there, they will make money through value growth, ठीक है? Because ultimately, like I told you, what जिसको gold खरीदना है ultimately, क्या होगा? He will purchase the gold, but उसको volume कम मिलेगा ना? Earlier he was purchasing 5 grams, now he might get 4 grams for the same budget. On the other hand, he is not going to spend any less money. उसका अगर budget 50,000 है, let's say for a customer, ठीक है? He will spend the same 50,000. अगर वो 50,000 से कम spend करता है, then for the likes of Kalyan, Gadgil and all, it will be a problem. But that is not the case. Okay? That is why for a B2C company, it is not a big issue, because they will make money, if volume growth is not there, with value growth, they will make money. Okay? So to a certain extent, they are a bit safe. But on the B2B side, यहाँ पे क्या होता है? There is no value growth for you. ठीक है? You get commissions a little bit here and there because of the design and the value chain that you provide over there. ठीक है? The entire आप देख सकते हो ना, the entire B2B, especially in the jewelry space, it's a pure volume game. इसलिए उनका आप देख सकते हो margins भी बहुत कम है, बहुत razor thin है. Even somebody like Sky Gold also, you see, right? With the economies of scale, they're targeting somewhere around 3.5%, and going forward, maybe in the future, it can be 5%. So you can understand. So when the gold ka prices rises so much, क्या होता है? All these, obviously people are not buying that readily, ठीक है? तो ये जो B2C companies है, like Kalyan, Gadgil, Senco, DP Abushin, they don't place the order as readily, ठीक है? या वरना वो job work का काम जो होते हैं, they don't give it as much, as it was last year or so, ठीक है? So अगर वो wholesale का order कम होता है, तो आपका भी घाटा पड़ेगा ना, आपका volume growth कम होगा. That is why what happened, because of this high rise in prices and everything, there is a little bit delay in purchase from the people's side. As a result, the companies are not placing probably that much order, because even they will have inventory, they'll have to get rid of that. These people have reduced the guidance. Earlier in FY24 उन्होंने बोला था, I don't remember, I think in Q3 का con call they told that for FY26 we are targeting a sales of somewhere 750 crore का sales हम target कर रहे हैं, and we are also targeting a PAT of 45 to 47 crore. Now in this con call they're telling we are hopeful that we will do 700 crores in terms of revenue this year. 750 से 700 crore किया guidance को, and PAT will be somewhere around the same 45 crore. Okay, and they told कि like शायद आगे जाके because we are still too early right now to comment on anything, maybe once the Q1 months are over, and because when you do Q2 का con call, when you do Q1 ka con call, you're already in Q2 ka month, right? That will give them a better idea actually going forward, will they be able to do more than 700 or less than 700, right? Because it all depends on how the gold ka prices are there. So this is what they told. So one thing is कि like यहाँ पे there can be a possibility, मैं बोल रही हूँ, listen to the choice of my words, there can be a possibility that ये 700 crore भी शायद they are very confident about doing it. So maybe there can be a plus or 20 here and there miss also, if the demand that is there, especially with gold, or the purchase is not that strong, especially with respect to daily wear jewelry and everything. Okay, this is one, I would say, a little bit of a negative thing. I wouldn't say negative or positive, but it's like a mixed reaction probably, I would say. Okay, ये एक चीज है. But I really appreciate the management for one thing, okay, because a lot of them can come on the con call and they can lie, because मैंने 750 crore बोला था, I did 750 crores, and they might try to tell, they don't want to tell the negative things, but the fact that he also told like, see, I have to be honest over here and I have to tell what it is, what the situation is. I'm really glad they came and they actually spoke the truth, and they didn't lie about it. The second thing over here, other than that, if you see what are the other business update, as you know, RBZ has only one retail ka showroom, okay, in Gujarat they have, which is a big 11,000 square feet ka showroom. Earlier in the con calls they were telling कि like ये लोग पूरा का पूरा B2B में focus करेंगे, wholesale में focus करेंगे, that is where the product mix will change, favoring more in the B2B side. But now they're telling they want to focus more on the B2C side. Even I believe in the Q3 ka con call there were many analysts that asked them कि like, are you opening more showrooms or anything, and they kept telling जो उनका एक गुजरात का showroom है, that is much enough, because they're not utilizing it fully. so they can do over there. Abhi bol raha hai ki like I will open a showroom in Surat which will be functional by Q3 of this year FY26, and there will be another showroom that will be opened in Rajkot that will be functional by Q1 of next year, that is Q1 of FY27. ठीक है. I don't understand ki like see, I understand maybe you are as a company, you have to see what is more which margin accretive for you, right? I understand that. ठीक है. Which and obviously a B2C business in a gold jewelry is much more marginally accretive compared to a B2B business. ठीक है. I understand that, but how what I don't like over here is the I would say the uncertainty. I think this has been an IPO now for what, like 2 years. I think a year and a half or 2 years, and every single time in the con call they were like so bullish on the wholesale bol raha tha. Abhi even until last quarter also they were talking about wholesale and everything, but now all of a sudden they're switching and they're telling ki like no, hamara product mix going forward, we will be catering more towards retail and not towards wholesale. In the upcoming year 500 crores in FY26, 500 crores का contribution will be from retail. That is अगर आप 700 crores का अगर आप बोल रहे हो sales होगा for this upcoming year, and you're telling out of that 500 crore का contribution will be retail, and going forward in FY27 I think 600 या 700 crore का contribution होगा retail से. I don't understand, I think this is a problem in terms of management कि like एक reliability, there is no reliability. Since I appreciate the honesty, but it's very unreliable also, I can tell you, because since the time it's been from IPO, you can just, I've been tracking this company since the time of IPO. I've always done video every quarter. You can see how the management is, कि like एक बार अच्छा है, एक बार बुरा है, or maybe they also want to shift to retail because like you can see right now, right, is gold का prices के वजह से demand is getting postponed and everything. I mean purchase is getting postponed. Sorry for the wrong choice of words. The purchase is getting postponed. So उसके वजह से order नहीं आएगा wholesale से, obviously आपका revenues नहीं होगा. On the other hand, if it is a retail, you at least make money through value growth, if not through volume growth. Maybe that is why they want to push. ठीक है? So that is another thing. The last thing is regarding the issues that has happened post Q3 result. अगर आप देखते हो Q3 का result के बाद there has been two major issues. One is the GST. एक GST का order आया था roughly I believe for 25 crores or so. But this was regarding their pre-IPO. उन्होंने कुछ bonus issue, shares issue किया था. Regarding that the GST is there, but the company is telling that this entire thing is baseless and we're fighting it in court, and it will not have any financial implications. It is an absolute baseless thing, baseless case. That is one thing. So there is no negative in terms of that. The other thing is the employee ka thing. In one of their showrooms that was there, one employee had done a fraud. He had defrauded them, I believe, of 2 crores somewhere along that. And apparently these people have caught that guy. They've been able to recover almost all the gold and money. And in this quarter, they have also done a provision of 25 lakhs regarding this case. And that is the final thing. There seems to be again no financial implications going further from from both of these issues that arise post Q3 ka result. Okay? So overall, I believe the corporate governance ka a little bit there was an issue regarding that, regarding this GST and fraud and everything. I believe that is the thing of the past. It shouldn't affect financially. Only thing is over here is, will they be able to do the 700 crore? Because if that if the purchase is going to be postponed, then probably the 700 crore can also be further reduced. On the other hand, if the purchase, if the gold ka prices comes down and we are seeing again a really good great amount of purchase in terms across of the jewelry industry, then they might come and increase the guidance again to probably 750 crores odd rupees. Q1 ka, I would say Q1 ka call and Q1 ka call is very important. Q1 ka call and result that would probably give you a direction as to much better clarity as to where the company is headed going forward for the year. Okay? Overall, if you look right now, if you compare, this time they did 530 crores, next year they're targeting 700 crores, so that is a roughly a 40-45% kind of growth engine. And if you look at the 1 year forward P with the current market cap that is there, it is a P of 12 to 14 in that range. So obviously P kam hai, ग्रोथ ज्यादा है, ठीक है, there is a possibility of p re-rating to happen, but in order for the p re-rating to happen there has to be execution, if there continues to be this kind of, because you look across the jewelry category, right, you'll see most of the companies that are there are commanding a very high premium valuation, whether it is Kalyan, whether it is Sky Gold, all of these companies. And there is a very common differentiator between someone who's commanding a higher valuation versus someone who's not. Like if you look at Kalyan, if you look at Titan also for that matter, Sky Gold, to a certain extent even DP Abhushan also, okay? All of these people, if you look at them, see, because when you talk about P, when you talk about valuation, it is actually a combination of two things. One is your growth rate and the other one is your trust, okay? You continue to grow, you get rewarded. At the same time, because you're growing, at a consistent rate, there comes a trust from the shareholders factor, which will push the stock further. If you look at Kalyan to a certain extent, it had it, agar, that Motilal Oswal ke saath, all of that lafta nahi hota, then pretty sure things would have been hunky-dory for them. Unfortunate incident that happened. But before that, if you look, Kalyan, Titan is a great example. Sky Gold is another great example, because the execution has been so remarkable, right? There is no like, ek aanch bhi nahi hai wahan pe execution pe, theek hai? And at the same time, like there is a trust that comes, when somebody is executing consistently yahan pe, theek hai? That is why you will see these people deserve a high P, they command a high P, okay? On the other hand, you look at RBZ, right? Like I think Sky Gold and RBZ during the same time, they came up with the guidance and everything, IPO, RBZ ka IPO bhi during the same time it came, when Sky Gold was getting that spotlight and everything, okay? And you look where Sky Gold is, look where RBZ is, look where even some companies like DP Abhushan and all are there. Because the thing is over here, one, the growth rate, is somewhat choppy over here across the quarters. The second is, trust, because ek con call mein aap ek bolte ho, dusre con call mein ek bolte ho. There is somehow, that management se wo reliability nahi aata hai. Appreciate the honesty, but aap bola na, ek baar aap bolte ho wholesale mein. Even until last quarter, there were so many analysts that kept asking them, like, are you sure you don't want to open a showroom and that and this? And they only kept telling, nahi, wholesale mein focus karunga, we are only going to raise debt over here for working capital. Abhi aake bol rahe ki like nahi, mujhe retail mein focus karna hai, and they'll be taking a debt for that, because ye jo do showroom hai that they're opening in Surat and Rajkot, it will be it's not a greenfield. The building that is there, it is going to be leased, so most of the capital that you need, the debt that they're going for, they will be going in 1:1 with respect to equity. It is going to be for working capital requirements. Yehi. So I would say those are the only two things probably in the con call that gave me a little bit of ick. Like one is, you are shifting to retail, jab itna baar aapne bola wholesale bolke. And the second thing, because of the purchase ka postponement, that 750 se 700 crore kiya, wo guidance ka, they have done that. So that's that about RBZ. Let's see how it is, post Q1, if they come and increase the guidance or not, and what does, the direction of the business look like. Okay? So that's it for RBZ Jewellers. Take care, guys. Bye.